you went to Hereford High School, and and you went to Rutgers. You had some good times. You were the third string quarterback, and then now you're in Minnesota playing with the Vikings and all that stuff. So just talk about your whole life.
How much time do we have?
Oh, what? Go ahead.
I mean, it's been a wild ride, I'll admit. I started off at Hereford High School in northern Baltimore County, as I'm sure you guys are aware. Quarterback there, went to 2 state championships, winning 1. Then, went to Rutgers as a preferred walk-on. I think third string quarterback was being a little generous. Didn't see the field as a quarterback, but I switched to receiver. My 4th year, played receiver, and then the end of my 4th year, our long snapper tears his ACL, I believe on a PAT. Anyway, I'm the only guy that really could do it at the time, so I hopped in there and did it for the last, I think, 2 or 3 games my 4th year, and then my 5th year, I was just the long snapper for that whole season. Had a meeting with my head coach, Greg Schiano, who said, I could give it a shot, and had a real chance of making it in the NFL as a snapper if I really worked on it. So that's what I did. 4 or 5 teams later, here we are playing for the Minnesota Vikings and about to come back to Baltimore to play the Ravens.
Yeah, I found footage from when you were at Rutgers. You guys were taking on the number 2 team in the country at the time, South Florida. Folks, they were number 2 back when he was in college. I'm like, what? I had to do one of these. Like, are you crazy?
You and your South Florida. I tell you.
No, it's true. And I got to ask you, how did you start this pass here? This is really great. It's like you rolled out
actually, so. So I remember the play call. It was called Razor, and we said if we got stopped on the next third down, we were going to call it and run it. So I was like, okay. So I'm getting ready. My palms are sweaty. I'm nervous, and then we convert on the third down. So I'm like, all right, well, there it was. I guess that's over. So the next third down after that, no one had said anything, and I'm running out on the field because we're going to kick a field goal because we got stopped, and my coach is calling Razor, and I'm like, oh no, that's the fake. Like, that's the throw. This is it. So I really didn't even have a chance to be nervous. I just kind of ran out on the field, called it, and then right before I snapped it, their Mike linebackers calling out fake. So I'm like, man, how's this guy know it's a fake? So, I got the snap. I'm rolling out. I see the guy at my feet, and I'm thinking, I just can't go down with the ball. Like, I just have to throw it. And I saw Kevin Brock, our tight end, had a step on the guy. I just lofted it up for him. He's 6'5", 6'6". I knew I put it up high enough, he was going to be the only guy to get it, and he did the rest.
That must be an exciting moment in your life, right?
Yeah, it was wild. I'll never forget my roommate, my best friend, Kevin Malice, was like one of the first guys to come out and congratulate me. And he was our starting will linebacker at the time, and it was neat. It was really cool.
George, go ahead.
What about your fans out there in Minnesota? This whole the chant that they roll with, and how is it to see that all materialize? From a player's perspective.
Yeah, so I played in Minnesota once as part of the opposing team, and I just remember at that time thinking how loud and crazy the stadium was, and thinking this must be crazy to play for as a Viking. So, lo and behold, now I'm a Viking. I signed last year. There were no fans, which was disappointing. Which was disappointing. So this year, that first home game, I was so amped just to be a part of the home team and to hear this crowd, and it's been nothing short of everything that I've heard. I mean, they're loud, they're crazy, they're rambunctious, they love this team, they're behind us all the way, and it's game day here is amazing. It's really cool.
Yeah, Steve, go ahead.
I was going to say, I know this was probably a little bit before you started playing for Minnesota, but what's it like playing in that brand new stadium after, what was it, about 10 years or so ago when they had the stadium roof collapse there at the Vikings with the snowstorm? What's it like playing in a fancy new stadium?
Yeah, I never got a chance to play in the old one, unfortunately. But this new one is state of the art. It's top of the line. It's one of the better stadiums, in my opinion, and I'm probably sure lots of players' opinions in the country. It's cool. It's a great stadium, and if you're if you're not a fan of the Vikings, I would say this is one of the stadiums you have to come out to see a game. I mean, the atmosphere is electric. It's a really, really cool place to see a game.
Lord, it's been rough and rocky traveling, but I'm finally standing upright on the ground. After taking several readings, I'm surprised to find my mind still fairly sound. I thought Nashville was the roughest, but I guess I've said the same about them all. Got one hell of an education in the cities of this nation, me and Tom Paul. We got busted in Laredo for reasons that I'd rather not disclose. But if you're staying in a motel there and leave there, don't leave nothing in your clothes. At the airport in Milwaukee, they refused to let us board the plane at all. They said we looked suspicious, but I think they like to pick on me and Tom Paul. Pick it, Moon. Show in Buffalo with us and Kitty Wells and Charlie Pride. The show was long and I just hung around, and I'd come there to sing, not for the ride. We drank a lot of whiskey, so I ain't sure we went on that night at all. I don't think they even missed us. I guess Buffalo ain't geared for me and Tom Paul. Lord, it's been rough and rocky traveling, but I'm finally standing upright on the ground. After taking several readings, I'm surprised to find my mind still fairly sound. Nashville is the roughest, but I guess I've said the same about them all. We got our education in the cities of this nation, me and Tom Paul. Hang on.
Not a fan of Vikings, I would say this is one of the stadiums you have to come out to see a game. I mean, the atmosphere is electric. It's a really, really cool place to see a game.
Well, now, me being a Cowboys fan, I mean, I know there's a little bit of rivalry in there, sort of, but I think the stadium's better than Jerryland down there in Texas.
You know, I think they're similar in a lot of ways, and then they're different in so many. It's hard to compare. I've only played in Dallas once, and oddly enough, it was a Sunday night game when I played for the Bucks. That was the year they went 13-3. That was the year we went 9-7. We were on like a 5-game win streak, so it was a pretty electric Sunday night game. I remember the atmosphere there was unlike anything I've seen before too. So the both game day atmospheres of both stadiums can go head to head. That would be an interesting matchup to watch if you could.
Now, I know also going back from when you were transitioning from college into the NFL, what was it like going from, you're playing your college days where you're meeting up 3-4 days a week practice, and now you're moving up into the national where you're playing with the big boys? Is it different routines for different setups before game day?
I actually got to give a ton of credit to Greg Schiano, my coach at Rutgers, because what he does there is the exact same thing that we do here in the league. I mean, your days are different as far as like, we go Wednesday, Thursday, Friday with practices, and then college you go Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. But, he really does a good job, I should say a great job of getting those guys ready for what it's going to be like to be an NFL player. I mean, the transition for me was absolutely seamless going from there, from Rutgers to the pros.
Wow. Well, Andrew, I got a question for you. Is your cell phone ringing off the hook this week? Like, hey, I want to, like you're coming home and mom's like, "What do you want for dinner? You got time to come over for dinner?" Like my mother would be making, no offense to my mom, she'll be making a whole plate of food and giving it out to people. So what's the feeling like getting the phone call saying like, "You're coming home? Really?"
Yeah. I mean, I've talked to all my friends back home. A ton of family members. My in-laws have been, preparing for this game for, a couple of weeks now. They're beyond excited. Their family, extended families coming in to watch. And I think what my dad and my brothers do is they do a really good job of being like the buffer between like me and everybody. So like, instead of just getting in touch with me directly, they'll either get in touch with my dad or like one of my two brothers. And then, those guys will either call me or text me with the questions, which is nice. And that's great. But, and as far as like the cooking goes, my family has like a bar restaurant 10 minutes from the stadium, which, if we get in early enough, I plan on stopping by, and then, that's going to be like home cooked meals. So, I'm planning on stopping by there and getting something to eat.
Yeah, maybe bring Kurt over and don't feed anything to Davin Cook. Let him run. Yeah, he's making don't feed him anything.
Yeah.
But it's pretty cool you're coming home. And real quick about this game coming up, I know you guys had a tough Sunday night loss to these guys behind here. Yeah,
Andrew, I was pulling for you, man. I was up there cheering, "Go Vikings!" And
yeah,
nice,
it was tough. It was a hard fought game. It was physical.
Hey man, I've been a Cowboys fan since '95, which was when I first started watching football, because we didn't have the Ravens yet. But I'd like to at least see Dallas do something. I mean, they got 13-3 back in 2014, and then they got knocked out, I believe, by Green Bay. I want to see them do something finally. At least, before I leave this world or something. At least see them get to a Super Bowl.
Andrew wants to get there too.
I was going to say we're all fighting for the same thing. So,
well, exactly. Well, Andrew, just talk about this weekend with the Ravens. They're coming off a bye week, and they lost to the Bengal team that the Bengals have lost to the Jets. Yeah, you must have been shocked watching that the other day. So, what do you guys have to do coming into Baltimore and literally quiet that stadium down, because that's the noisiest little place to play?
Yeah, well, I mean, let's be honest. Baltimore is not an easy team to play. And then you add that they're coming off a bye week, off of a loss. They're going to be fired up. I don't think they need any extra motivation. So really what we need to do, I think, as a team is just play our game. Really control the clock, running the ball. As you said, we got to let Dalvin eat, let him run. And, Kirk does a great job of game management. He's got to continue to do that. And I think if we just play our game and do what we do well, I think we'll have a, really good shot against these guys.
That's cool.
Bold prediction, Chris. Bold prediction from this guy right here.
Yeah.
Vikings go in and they beat the Ravens.
I like it. I like that.
I like that. I think
it's any given Sunday.
Any given Sunday. That's what in the NFL. You never know. You can quiet down that crowd, or we got some people who I know go tailgating and buy stayed at the tailgate party for the rest of the day. So, Andrew, thank you so much, and safe travels back to Baltimore. And hopefully this weekend it's not too cold out. I know you're so used to Minnesota weather, but it's probably going to be the same weather that you've probably seen there. And good luck on the flight here, and good luck on Sunday, 1:00 on Fox.
Yeah, thanks a lot, guys. I really appreciate it.
All right, man. Talk to you soon.
All right.
See ya. That was very cool, folks. And Andrew DePaola, who long snapper from right down.